Hi everybody, Courtney here to talk to you a little bit about what is slow living. And I'm sitting here on my porch and I was looking out watching the sunset, which I've been doing every night lately. And it's cooled down a lot. It's not 100. The humidity was like 80% and 100 for all summer, and it's cooled down. It's getting so nice. And I was kind of looking back through my phone at pictures of the summer, and I was thinking, what is slow living? And I was also listening to one of my sons was on a podcast for his work. He's also writes poetry and things like that, and I was listening to him talk and kind of the things of like how I raised my kids came out. Like I never forced my kids to be in sports. As a matter of fact, if they did choose to do an activity, they could only do one activity per semester. They had to stick with that unless they were just really passionate about it. So if they chose choir, it was choir. I had 4 kids, so obviously that was challenging, but I never forced them to do anything extracurricular. I really had a house where they could run and play, and we always had like 10 or 11 kids running through the house. And I would always like cut up fruit and have water and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for them. But and we waited till they were quite old to let them have like they had a dumb phone, I guess that's right, like a flip phone. They didn't get smartphones until they could pay for them. And, you know, just so much of how they were raised was more of the slow living lifestyle. And they were also taught to value people over stuff and their animals and things like that. And so I was sitting here on the porch watching this beautiful sunset behind me, and I'm thinking, this is slow living, being able to, obviously probably not being on the phone, right? But being able to look here at my rose bushes or the sunset or the sunrise. I sit in bed every morning. I always wake up early, like at 6:45, which is early for me. And I don't have to leave for work until 9:15 on the days I work. Sometimes I don't go until 11:30. But I always sit and drink coffee with my animals. Being able to sit back and read a book or go on a country drive. Just mainly becoming unbusy. And I want to tell you a little story. Also, it means things like cooking a homemade meal. I don't really find value in, I do find value in going out to eat if it's like the food is exceptional, which is hard when you're vegan living in the South. It's really hard to go out and find exceptionally good vegan food. So cooking at home, but I enjoy like if I go out to eat with a family member and we have an experience together. But for the most part, for me, it's having time for friends and family, having time to read or even to watch a movie, having time to make a homemade meal, having time to sit on the porch, to drink coffee slowly in bed, not rushing, not being busy. So this is a story I want to tell you. So I had a friend years ago. We are no longer friends, but that's a different story. But I remember like I was always there for this friend. When they would call me, I would always be there. I felt like for a while they needed a lot of my support, and then they kind of disappeared for some reasons, which is why we became unfriends. But I remember calling this person and not getting a call back for several times and thinking it was odd. But when I did talk to them, it was, I've been really busy. And I thought to myself, I don't ever want to be so busy that when one of my best friends or my family needs me, that I don't have time to talk to them. Like, I may have to say, I'm at work right now, I'll call you back in an hour, or I get off at 5 and I'll call you after work, whatever. But I don't want to ever be so busy that I can't be there for the people that I love. And so at that point, I started becoming unbusy. I didn't know it was a movement. It's a movement now, but I intentionally started becoming unbusy. And I have always been a person who has liked less complication in their life. But I started, as I've gotten older, I've started avoiding places where there might be a lot of drama, like if there's a lot of drinking going on or things like that. I've started avoiding people who seem to bring drama. I've started making sure that I have a lot of buffer in my life, and I think that's what I would call it, was just being aware of having a lot of buffer in your life. Like, not overextending, like not planning more than a few things a day, leaving plenty of time between one thing and another. Like last week, I had to teach 3 classes in a day, which that's a lot. 3 classes is a lot. It takes a lot of mental energy. And I didn't plan anything else for that day. As a matter of fact, I had cooked the meal that we were going to have before I went to work, or we ate leftovers, I can't remember, or I had something really easy. Like, if I know I have a lot to do in one day, I plan a really simple meal. So kind of living your life about thinking about what's the easy button here? And I don't mean like going out and getting fast food or things like that, but like, let's say, you have to work late on Tuesdays. So you have like some tortillas and, for me, it would be vegetarian refried beans. And you have the things in your house that make an easy, quick meal. Or that you can throw like some rice in the rice cooker and steam some broccoli and throw some chickpeas in there and have like a meal, right? So you start thinking and preparing about ways to make your life easier and less complicated. And for me, that's slow living, simple living, being unbusy. I'll end this with a quick little kind of what happened today. So today, my husband went to horseback riding. He's on a trail ride for 3 days. I had to go to my son. I had some things to take him. And so I kind of planned all the things I needed to do around him, which really all I needed to do was go to the bank. Also needed to go to the store, but I thought to myself, no, I'm going to use up what I have, and I'm going to wait and go to the store next week. But I've purposely got out my calendar. I looked at what I had to do. I looked at my week, and I decide on days where I can be home, just completely home, and not have to go anywhere. So that will be tomorrow. And I kind of laid out my exercise that I wanted to do for the next couple of days. But I take the whole picture in. I look at the days I have to go to work, get dressed, put my makeup, go on to town, and I try to get all the things out of the house done that day. And I plan for the things I need to do at home when I know I can be at home more. I don't have to put on makeup. I don't have to, get dressed for going out and things like that. So just creating a lot of buffer, kind of planning your time more in a big picture way rather than just like, what do I have to do right now? I've been in those stages of life where I had to just take care of what's important right now. Sometimes we have to do that. But I don't know. I was just thinking about it as I'm sitting out here. I'll share this with y'all one more time. I do live on this just beautiful farm. Let's see if I can make it come in. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is my farm, y'all. All right, well, it's getting dark and you're not going to be able to see me anymore. So have a wonderful evening. Thumbs up if you like this content. Thank you. Bye-bye.